Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be speaking about Janibek versus Erislandy, Lara, and the possibility of that fight happening. Roach versus Issac, Cruz, and exactly where that's going to be and what date is going to be going down. Then we're going to talk about the possibility of Romero and Manny Pacquiao fighting. And of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,100 mark. About to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I hope everybody's doing extremely well. You know what I mean? Them and their families. You know what I'm saying? Feeling pretty good today. Last night I didn't go live. Was tired. Definitely needed that additional rest. And you know, it's a big reason why I'm feeling good right now, man. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to the girl Smoochie with the first comment. She said, "Hey Nation, what up?" You know, Smoochie probably done fell asleep by now. You know what I mean? I was on the phone, so I was a little bit late, but it is what it is. Bad Boom Balloon, what up? He said, "May God take away my sickness and pass it to," I don't even know who that is. But shout out to the boy Bad Boom Balloon. Marlon 2631, what up? Salute, brother. How you feeling? How we feeling, man? What's on the people's mind, man? What got y'all here today? What's the boxing news that y'all fucking with thus far, man? Y'all like that Roach Eastside Cruz fight? Janibek versus Lara? Rolly possibly versus Manny Pacquiao, man. And I got that text from Romero as well, so I'm gonna definitely be discussing that. You know what I mean? We chopped it up a little bit, went back and forth earlier. But we definitely gonna speak about that, man. My boy Marlon said I low-key like Roach versus Cruz. I mean, stylistically, it's an exciting fight, bro, because you know, Roach, I mean, he can box, he can move, but you know, he one of them type dudes that, yeah, I mean, he a dog. And you know, that could be a gift and that could be a curse. You know what I'm saying? It could be a curse going up against a style like, you know, Issac Cruz, who, you know what I mean? His only the only thing he could actually do is come forward and apply pressure and let his hands go. You know what I mean? But I like Lamont Roach's. He's technically sound, responsible with his defense, great counter puncher. I like his catching and shooting abilities, man. He could give Cruz some problems. So stylistically, it's gonna be a fire ass fight because, you know, Eastside gonna bring the fight, and Lamont Roach ain't gonna be going nowhere. So there's gonna be some punches landing, man. Definitely gonna be some punches landing. He said NyQuil is saving me, man. I hope Bad Boom Balloon feel better, bro. I definitely hope you're feeling better. Marissa, what's going on? What's going on, Marissa? I seen that you got that Ring magazine, that Shakur Stevenson edition. Shout out to Marissa. She really a hardcore boxing fan to the soil, man. One of my favorite supporters, to be honest. Shout out to Marissa. One of the most positive supporters that I got. Always so sweet, you know what I mean? Kind, positive. Even with personal things I had going on, Marissa was always positive and always had encouraging words. Shout out to Marissa. But there's some things to talk about, man. We definitely had some news circulating, so we definitely gonna speak about this. You feel what I mean? But before I get into that, man, I just wanted to say this. I'm so sick of these fucking media, like, you know, boxing media, bro. Boxing media, this is exactly why, like, I don't really necessarily want to be known as boxing media, for real. And that's partially why I don't really be doing interviews all like that, because for real, a lot of these niggas is cornballs, bro. Like, behind the scenes, you're making it seem like niggas is your mans and shit like that. And then, like, just be openly letting niggas talk shit about you. They'll let a nigga talk shit about you just for some views, just for some content. You know what I mean? And of course, I'm talking about that Mill City nigga. He's a fucking bitch, bro. You know what I mean? This coming from a Philly nigga, and I'm peeping how the way you've been moving with Philly niggas, bro. That nigga Mill City's a fucking cornball, bro. Jorge, whatever the fuck his name is, he's a fucking clown. You feel what I mean? And if I was to ever run into him, bro, now no violent shit or anything like that, no physical shit, but I'm gonna definitely make it be known that he a clown ass nigga. You feel what I mean? And if y'all niggas be backing the type time that he be on, then y'all niggas is clowns too. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Not the nation, not the mob, but the motherfuckers who, you know what I mean, be condoning the fuckery. You feel me? Like this nigga, from what I understand, this nigga, you know what I mean? Cool with YSM, sports media. Shout out to my boy Jamil Parker. You feel what I mean? I thought they was cool. I seen Jamil on his platform a few times. You know what I mean? I'm assuming they had some type of friendship. You know what I mean? I ain't speaking on nobody behalf. It's just shit that I've observed personally. And you know what I mean? This nigga, Mill City be purposely letting niggas go on his channel just to talk crazy about Boots because the motherfucker can't get an interview with Boots. You feel what I mean? Then he let this nigga Brian Norman Sr. pretty much make a fucking personality, make an online personality just strictly hating on Jerron Ennis. You feel what I'm saying? And I'll be noticing the shit. You feel what I mean? And Mill, he don't be, you know, trying to defend nobody. He don't be trying to make no counter arguments. He just be letting that shit slide. You know what I mean? So you know, where I'm from, when you letting niggas openly talk shit about somebody, that mean you co-sign it, you enabling it. You feel what I mean? So that nigga's a cornball, bro. You feel what I mean? I don't fuck with that nigga at all. And I just wanted that shit to be known. I don't really fuck with a lot of these boxing niggas, these boxing media niggas for real. Like, but the difference between me and a lot of these other niggas is that when I see him, I tell him that. I tell him that. You know what I mean? No handshaking, ain't none of that. You feel what I mean? So fuck Mill City and whoever rocking with him. Even if that mean Brian Norman Sr. You feel what I mean? Fuck, man. That's the type time I'm on. Y'all niggas disrespecting, like, you know, Philly niggas that I respect. It's fuck y'all niggas too. You feel what I mean? And it's really that simple. So, anyways, let's get into these topics, man, because we got some things that we need to discuss. Let me make sure the likes is. Let me make sure the likes is right. Let me make sure these likes is right. You feel me? Let me make sure these likes is right. We got 8 likes in the building. Oh man, I'm assuming them motherfucking I'm assuming them, you know, them notifications ain't really get sent out, but it is what it is. I ain't complaining. Bad Boom Balloon say, you know, pro boxing interviews are struggling when Fred talks fighting is the best interview. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Fred talks fighting. I've never heard of the nigga. Oh well. Go 787. What up? Lorenzo, what up? All right, we getting the people in here. They tapping in. I don't even know who that is. I just seen he popped up, but damn, he got a shit ton of subs though. Shout out to Fred Talks Fighting. Salute. You know what I mean? Salute. Let's get into these conversations, man. The first one I want to talk about is something that Jamil pretty much confirmed on Mazuma TV. So I don't know if we was the first channel to be talking about it or talk about it publicly, but goddamn, seems like this is a fight that's actually going to be happening. And we pretty much told y'all this about 2 days ago, and it's coming to, you know, the light now. I just seen that Janibek wrote something on his timeline. He says, becoming the undisputed world champion is my ultimate goal. I don't care about fame, money, or recognition. I want to make history. I must become the first ever undisputed champion from Kazakhstan. This is something of great importance for my nation. Shout out to Janibek for being, you know, legacy driven. You know what I mean? Shout out to him for, you know, looking to do historical things in the sport of boxing. As boxing fans, it's the shit that we supposed to be looking at fighters that we favor nowadays. You know what I mean? Not the ones that talk about who generate what money and, you know, who did they fight and all that bullshit. And I'm hesitating to do great things. Shout out to the fighters who actually put on great performances, are talented, put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And actually go out of their way. Because, you know, when you a champion, you don't have to fight other champions to be real. So shout out to the motherfucking champions that go out of their way to try to prove that they're the greatest amongst their peers. You feel what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. And that's what Janibek just said. So this is pretty much Janibek confirming that he has a unification fight in the works, or at least that's something that's, you know, heavy on his mind. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, Janibek, Lara. Let's actually pull this up right here. Shout out to boxingscene.com, man. They got the full story on their website, so we're going to go ahead and read this through and just talk about it. Shout out to Erislandy Lara. You know what I'm saying? I put a lot of respect on Erislandy Lara's name, man. Like I said, and I've been saying this, I think he's one of the most underappreciated fighters, you know, of this, you know, past era. You know what I'm saying? And he's stood the test of time. He's the oldest current, you know, world champion in boxing right now. You know what I mean? That's a very impressive feat. And he's won multiple titles in multiple divisions. So you got to respect Erislandy. And he's actually fought top-tier competition, you know, and came out successful in, you know, in those fights as well, or had controversial ones that you could have said that, you know, went his way. But anyways, Janibek, Erislandy Lara unification bout in play. This is according to Jake Donovan. Shout out to Jake Donovan, man. You feel what I mean? Let me go ahead and exit this out. I hate these dumbass pop-ups. It says Janibek can finally cease tormenting his middleweight peers on social media. Boxing Scene has learned that the unbeaten IBF and WBO 160-pound titleist is on course to face the next WBA middleweight title holder, Erislandy Lara. Their 3-belt unification bout is expected to land on the next announced PBC pay-per-view event, which will pair this fight with the rumored Issac Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach clash in December. So, according to Boxing Scene, Jake Donovan, all that good stuff, man, it's looking like there's going to be a unification fight on the Lamont Roach and Issac Cruz undercard. Now, I do think that it's I don't really fuck with the idea that a unification fight, you know, is going to be a co-main event to a WBC interim title fight. You know what I mean? But I guess it's not necessarily about the belts. I guess it's, you know, who's the bigger draw. Issac Cruz, the Mexicans fuck with him heavy. Lamont Roach got a lot of momentum since that draw with Gervonta Davis. So I get it. You feel what I mean? But that's a pretty solid, you know, co-main and main event fight. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's pay-per-view worthy, but, you know, that's just the type of time that PBC has been on. And it's not the worst pay-per-view that I've seen if they're able to put this together. It says the development comes after previous rumors surfaced that WBC belt holder Carlos Adames was the targeted opponent for Janibek. The para-middleweight title claimants have gone back and forth with insults and demand for more than a year on social media, but never came close to meeting in the ring. Okay. Let me see. It says Lara has been the recognized WBA 160 titleist since March of 2023 after he previously held a secondary version of the title. The 42-year-old Cuban southpaw who trains and lives in Las Vegas has just made 2 defenses of his title. Both came in 2024, ironically his most active campaign of the decade. Lara, he wiped out Michael Zarafa. Then he stopped Danny Garcia September 14th on a Canelo Berlanga undercard in Vegas. All that good stuff. So they're just running through exactly what Erislandy Lara did throughout his time at, you know, 154 and middleweight. So that looks like that's a fight that's, you know, in the works. If they're able to make it happen, man, shout out to Janibek for, you know, exploring unification fight. Shout out to Erislandy Lara for actually taking the fight. You know what I mean? Considering his age and where he's at in his career, you know, I think it's safe to say that he has more time behind him than ahead of him in the sport of boxing. So the fact that he's, you know, openly willing to face somebody like Janibek, who may be one of the most avoided fighters in this, you know, one of the most avoided champions in boxing right now, you got to salute him for wanting to take the chance. You know what I'm saying? He must believe in himself. You know what I mean? He might see things in Janibek's game that he feels like he could take advantage of. And, you know, if Erislandy Lara beats Janibek, I'm going to just say this. If he finds a way to beat Janibek, I do have Janibek as the favorite. If he beats Janibek and is the oldest current champion while simultaneously having 3 out of the 4 belts in the division, that would be absolutely insane. And something just tells me that if Janibek and Lara fight, Carlos Adames might have been the problem in those negotiations. So hopefully we get to see this fight, man. I don't want to see if Janibek defeats Lara. I don't want nobody trying to discredit Janibek, saying that Lara was too old and he was over the hill. And man, listen, when he beat Lara, Lara was the oldest active champion in the sport of boxing. Champion, not former champion. You know what I mean? Not coming off of a loss. None of that. We talking about Erislandy Lara who held a title for 2 years in the division. So you got to put respect on his name. Shout out to Janibek. I hope this fight comes together for him. I ain't going to lie. I believe he deserves it. I think he deserves it. Considering all the politics and motherfuckers ducking and avoiding him, you got to respect him, bro. Let me see. So let's move on. Damn, where the fuck is this shit at? Let me go ahead and get this. Let me get this together for y'all, man. I wanted to talk about this. Shout out to ESPN Ringside. Shout out to ESPN Ringside for putting together this announcement right here. I thought this shit. He said, "Where the fuck everybody at, bro?" I don't know. But it is what it is. We gonna make it do what it do regardless. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't really tripping. I ain't one of them niggas who be pressed over views, man. I like to talk my boxing and I like to get out. You feel me? So it is what it is. And we gonna put this on subscriber only mode because we ain't even about to be playing with y'all niggas. Shout out to ESPN Ringside with the motherfucking announcement that they put up on their page. Says reigning WBA junior lightweight champion. Reigning WBA junior lightweight champion Lamont Rose Jr. will move up to 140 to face Issac Cruz for the interim WBC junior welterweight title on December 6th. PBC told ESPN on Thursday. Now, this was a fight that has been spoken about for a hot ass minute now. You know what I mean? Nothing was really solidified in terms of venues or dates or anything like that. And it seems like they finally come together with a date and a setting. You feel what I'm saying? Saturday, December 6th. I believe that's my stepfather's birthday, man. Shout out to my stepfather, Saran. And it's going to be in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I'm going to tell you what. It's going to be a shit ton of Mexicans at that motherfucking fight, boy. They did that purposely. You know what I mean? I genuinely believe that. Lamont Roach, he a dog, man. You got to respect him. You got to respect him for taking a chance. He ain't have to go up to 140. He could have stood at 135. He could have went back down to 130 to defend his title. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I am going to say is that Lamont just need to go ahead and vacate that WBA title. You know what I mean? At 130. I mean, WBA. Sorry. He need to just go ahead and relinquish that WBA title and let the 130-pound division, move forward. Because to be honest with you, bro, he not going back down. He's not going back down. He gonna see how that additional weight feel on his body, and he's not going back down. You know what I mean? Especially if he's getting quality fights like this. You know what I mean? If he getting Gervonta Davis and Issac Cruz back to back, why would he ever try to go back down when there aren't big names like that in a 130-pound division anyway? You feel what I'm saying? So he need to go ahead and vacate that title. Has some people in the WBA rankings at 130 fight for the title and just continue to go on about the division because, he's not going back down. There's nothing that makes me believe that he's going to fight at 35, fight at 40, then drop all the way back down to 130. Bro, that's going to be a serious disadvantage on his part if he were to do that. You know what I mean? So that's just what I personally believe about this situation. Like I said, this is a great fight. Stylistically, it's a great fight. You know what I mean? Like, a major world title isn't necessarily on the line. It's an interim title, but that could put him in position to, fight the actual WBC super lightweight champion. And think about it this way, bro. Let's say Issac Cruz defeats Lamont Roach. Issac Cruz versus Gary Russell Jr., Gary Antoine Russell, fire. Oh, I'm sorry. The WBC champion is actually Subriel Matias. So Subriel Matias versus Issac Cruz, that's a fight that we've been calling for. That's one of the most exciting fights stylistically to make in boxing today, just considering their styles. Lamont Roach versus Subriel Matias. That would be absolutely insane. And I think Lamont Roach would actually fight dude. I genuinely believe that. I think he will fight dude because there's no way you fighting for the interim title and then you know, once you become a mandatory, you're gonna back off the block. It wouldn't even make sense to fight for the interim in the first place. You know what I mean? So yeah, my boy Ralph in the building. Shout out to my boy Ralph. He said the only real big fight for him at 30 in terms of fighting someone with popularity will be Fulton. From what I understand, Fulton and Lamont Roach have a really cool relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even think that would be a situation unless they just got paid a shit ton of money to fight each other. But like I said, I think with the additional weight that Lamont Roach is going to have on him, he's not even going to consider going back down. So it's just a matter of, bro, why do you have this title, bro? Why hold on to it? If you're not going to go back down, what's the purpose in holding on to it? Just to say that you currently champion is just like a nice feeling to just be called a current champ. Bro, you 2 weight classes above 130 right now. And you ain't skip a weight class neither. You fought at 35, then you went to 40. You're not about to, you know what I mean, get your body used to, 35 and 40 and then drop back down to 30. Fuck no, bro. You're not going to do that. So I would just like to see Lamont, vacate his WBA junior lightweight title, in my opinion. Simba Boxer, what up? How you feeling, brother? What's going on? Damn, the viewership killing me today, bro. God damn, y'all niggas, I missed one day and niggas forgot about me, huh? Sheesh. That's crazy. Shout out to the people that's hitting the likes, though, man. They'll just catch the replay. It is what it is. But, yeah, man, like that fight. Can't wait to see that come together. You know what I mean? And you ain't get no notification. I figured that. You see how they be doing your boy? Y'all see how they be doing y'all boy? I put the announcement up like 2 hours before, too. Had plenty of time to send notifications out, but hey, man, what can I do? What can I say? All right. Now, YouTube definitely hella corny. Go 787. He said, read my comment at the top. All right, let me read that. Shout out to the boy Go 787. He says Adames went back to camp really heavy, as coach said in an interview. He said that was the main reason the fight was falling out of their hands. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I'm going to say this, Ghost. I'm glad you told me this. That's very, very unprofessional on Adame's part. On some real shit, that's some sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way, especially coming off of that controversial fight with Hamza Shiraz, and your momentum, bro. A lot of people was giving you credit for your performance. There's no reason why you should be blowing up in weight and losing your discipline, bro. That you should never be 20 pounds over your fight weight. You know what I mean? Like you should never be over. You should always stay within 10 to 15 pounds of your fight weight. That's what I always say. You feel what I mean? But these dudes nowadays, bro, they just think it's so cool. Like it's just to blow up 20, 30, 25, 30, 35 pounds. You know what I mean? Oh, because look, man, I'm big, bro. You doing all of that shit, bro. Meanwhile, there's motherfuckers who stick around their fight weight. You know what I mean? Don't have to worry about their weight. They can just sharpen up on their craft and they shit on you, bro. You know what I mean? Like Floyd Mayweather, let it be known that he will walk around 151, 152 and fight at 147. That man ain't never have to worry about weight. He could just continue to, work on his craft and perfect his craft. And that's why he outshined a lot of y'all motherfuckers when the lights was shining the brightest. You know what I mean? So, and Adames know that he has some big money fights set ahead of him. You just want to blow up and wait and just throw those opportunities out the window. Man, you are an absolute fool. You are an absolute fool for that. You know what I mean? So Adames definitely got to tighten up. That's crazy. I would be pissed off. If I was his manager, promoter, trainer, bro, I would be pissed. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You got some big opportunities in front of you. And here you go, about to fuck it up because you want to be fat. Bella Faith, shout out to Bella Faith. She said, rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. He used to be 50 pounds overweight out of camp and somehow went back down. Well, it was really because I mean, I ended up taxing Ricky Hatton. You know what I mean? When it came down to the big fights like Floyd, Pacquiao, and all that shit. But yeah, they used to call him Ricky Fatton. They used to call him Ricky Fatton. You know what I mean? He liked to drink. He liked to be at the. He liked to be, sipping on them pints in them pubs. You feel what I mean? But whenever it was time to get that weight off, a lot of it was water weight. He was able to get that shit up off of him, man. Shout out to Ricky Hatton. And that just lets you know that, you know what I mean? There really ain't no excuses in this shit. I do think those weight cuts affected him when he faced the elite guys, but you know what I mean, he got the weight off and he got some good wins under his belt. He beat Costa Zoo, he beat Paulie. Al the Pal said, I'm trying to go to that Pitbull fight if it is in San Antonio. Well, according to I'm gonna say this, according to ESPN Ringside, that's where it's gonna be going down December 6th. So, you know what I mean, start looking into it, brother. If you're in the San Antonio area. Definitely a goofy, Yasser. I agree. Yeah, Lorenzo, you remember they was calling him Ricky Fatton? And Ricky used to embrace that shit. See, Ricky Hatton was he was a likable character, bro. Cause like you couldn't really get to him like with the mind games and shit. Like that was prime pretty boy Floyd. Wait, that was Money Mayweather. Cause that was after he beat De La Hoya, I think. Floyd used to be talking that shit to him, and he did not care. And he used to troll Floyd right back. He had a charisma about himself. You know what I mean? He was very entertaining style, really entertaining style wise. You know what I mean? He didn't mind talking a little shit neither, bro. And he had a hell of a fan base. How many? They said thousands of people came from the UK just to watch him fight Floyd. Had the whole arena lit. They said the arena felt like it was shaking off of Ricky Hatton supporters alone. You know what I mean? So shout out to Ricky Hatton. That's a legend, man. Absolute legend. Oh, are you in Houston? Shout out to H-Town, man. I always wanted to go to Texas, bro. So you over there, with the Charlos and them, huh? Yeah, Sarah Ali says Pitbull versus Roach, and by what? Something tells me, bro, that Lamar Roach. I was thinking Pitbull at first. You know what I mean? I was thinking because Lamar Roach gonna sit in the pocket, he gonna give him a lot of chances. But I really sat back and I thought about it objectively. You know what I mean? I thought about what both guys brought to the table, and I do think that Lamar Roach is he's a hell of a counter puncher. He doesn't mind. He throws sharp punches in between guys' combinations. And he's very responsible defensively. So because he has a superior defense, because he has the great counter punching ability, I think he could disrupt a lot of Issac Cruz's offense. And I think he can land the cleaner punches in exchanges. You know what I mean? So because he got the superior defense, he got the better counter punching ability. And, me believing that he's going to land the more cleaner, effective punches, than Issac. I think he can outpoint Issac Cruz. You know what I mean? And that's not like, Issac Cruz is going to be the bigger man. The dude like 5'3", bro. 5'3", you know what I mean? He be walking around a little heavy, you could tell, but you know what I mean? That's a small guy. Powerful, you know what I mean? Relentless, explosive. Yeah, he has all of those qualities, but I think Lamar Roach is just a superior boxer. And unless Issac Cruz clipping or Lamar Roach just got an off night, and just can't seem to get his timing or whatever the case is, I can really see Lamar Roach stunting all over Issac Cruz. Issac Cruz, he ain't nothing but, a left and a right hook. To be honest with you, he might shoot an uppercut here and there, but, zero jab. You know what I mean? When he usually, is coming forward, he throws two power punches at a time. Listen, I seen somebody with the hand speed of Gervonta Davis get countered effectively by Lamont Roach. You know what I mean? So I can see Lamont having a lot of success in the counter punching department as long as he's himself. You know what I mean? Justin Jackson, what up? Now I'm starting to see people come in, man. Salute. I was getting a little concerned. You feel what I mean? It took a half hour for people to notice your boy was live, but it's all love, man. You know what I mean? Hopefully you two get it together with these notifications. You heard? Justin, did you get a notification? Yeah, I don't think Lamont Roach stops Issac Cruz. That would be some wild shit if he did. But I think Lamont Roach is gonna outpoint Issac Cruz because I could see Issac Cruz throwing a lot of wide shots, and I could see Lamont, disrupting that offense with his short shots. You know what I mean? The short shots always get there before the wide ones. You know what I mean? So I could just see Lamont really putting on a great performance. I could see Lamont getting hit with some good body shots, or might get hit with a hook here and there. But it's definitely going to be a war in spots. But I do think Lamont, I think he's a superior boxer, man. I think skill's going to pay the bills that night. You know what I mean? But stylistically, it's a firefight because Lamont a dog, bro, and especially off of this last performance, and he gonna be like, man, Tank can't fucking hurt me. This little and this nigga smaller than Tank, he ain't hurting me. He gonna have a different type of mentality, bro. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? Go 787. Oh shit! This nigga said he was stalking Jamel. This nigga said he was driving behind Jamel. That's crazy. Go 787 says Lamont got beautiful uppercut counters and a tight high guard. I believe he could hurt Issac with the uppercut. He's been hurt before about him. Yeah, I remember Rayo had rocked Pitbull with that uppercut and shit. Nearly took him up off his fucking feet. But yeah, and Lamont also got a good little roll. You know what I mean? He catches very well. He sees the shots and he responds correctly, from a defensive aspect. You feel what I'm saying? Out of Palisade, I don't see it on BoxRec. Pitbull versus Roach. So I think it's probably because I don't think they really got a venue yet. I don't know if they got a venue. I just seen that it was San Antonio, December 6th. But you know what I mean? They announced it. PBC had told ESPN ringside. So, you know what I mean? It gotta be a done deal. It's just a matter of, securing a venue or whatever the case is. No, I'm fucking with you, Hal. I'm just talking shit. I know you ain't stalking nobody. You said Fierro hurt him also. Yeah, I mean, look, Issac could be hurt, bro. Issac could definitely be hurt. He a dog, but even a dog could get hurt. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. He said, we've been talking about this fight before it was announced, and Roach also confirmed in a Pro Box fight interview. Well, there you go. There you go. That tell you everything you need to know. You know what I mean? I don't think Lamont would announce some shit that, wasn't stamped or on paper already. Has Pitbull been knocked out or down? No, not that I believe. I don't ever recall Pitbull hitting the canvas. I don't think he's ever been knocked out neither. There's not many people who've ever tried to step the, Pitbull. You feel me? So I don't know. He definitely could take a punch though. Pitbull tough, but he could definitely be broken down. That's for sure. Said shout out to Pro Box the way they moving Roach. Absolutely. Shout out to Lamont Roach for taking them chances because they wouldn't be able to move a certain way with him if he wasn't accepting fights. You feel what I mean? So this is exactly what Lamont Roach needs to do, man. I love the fact that, I love the way he promoted himself after the Tank situation, just staying on camera, you know what I mean? Affiliating himself with, popular streamers and, streaming himself and developing that, tapping into the streamer community and getting fans over there and, doing interviews with Andre Ward. He kept talking about it and people kept feeding into him. And now Lamont Roach went from this guy that people knew but didn't really talk too much about to being one of the most talked about fighters, in boxing right now. And yeah, I understand he didn't get a win. You know what I mean? Even though he should have, to be honest. But, he made the most of his situation and he promoted himself, to the best of his ability. And you got to commend him for that because not everybody, is well-versed in, marketing themselves or take the proper steps to, market themselves well and really get their name out there. Lamont did it. You know what I mean? He over here having moments with one of the most popular streamers in the world. You know, that I Show Speed kid. You know what I mean? She said, "Hey, yo, what happened to Ryo? What did happen to Ryo? What happened? What happened with Ryo, Bella? You know something we don't know? What's going on?" I don't know. I don't think anything happened with Ryo though. Last thing I see from Ryo was sorry for the wait update coming soon. That was the last thing I seen from Ryo. So maybe he got some things in the works. You know what I mean? Go 787. He said, I really don't want to see Matias versus Lamont. I want to see someone unified with Matias, really. Yeah, I would like to see that too. But if a unification fight ain't possible or, available, because, a lot of this shit is about timing, y'all. I mean, I know there's definitely times when certain guys don't want to fight and, stuff like that. But I'm not gonna say most of the time, but there's also times where fights don't happen because the two people ain't available at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like if you wanna start dating this girl, you want to start dealing with this girl, whatever the case is, but every time you're available, she working, and every time she available, you working, and it's like, damn, like I'm over here trying to link with Shorty, but I just can't seem to find the time for her. You feel what I mean? And that's kind of the way this fight shit goes sometimes. Like, let's say for instance, Matias and Issac Cruz are trying to make a fight, or Matias and Teofimo. They trying to fight, but Teofimo Lopez team got a date locked in for him in December, and Matias and them said they're not coming back till March. So because they got different time frames, they're not really available to fight each other at that moment. You know what I mean? So sometimes timing just fucks up fights. That's 22 in the building. He says Roach and Pitbull fight at 140, right? That's what I believe. It's for the 140 WBC interim title. So you would be correct. He said, you think Core will stay at 140 to fight Roach after? I mean, it's a possibility. You know what I mean? Me personally, I think that he will only go to 40 for a world title or like a big fight. He said he'll fight Lamont at 35. So I don't know why he wouldn't fight Lamont at 40 unless he feels like that additional 5 pounds will benefit Roach. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that he would. I think that Shakur would rather prefer that fight at 135. You know what I mean? Because that's where he fought Tank. Like I don't know. I don't know. But what I did hear Shakur say verbatim is that when he defeats Teofimo Lopez and takes his belt at 140, he's gonna vacate and let Keyshawn take it. That's what he said. Yasir Ali says, "Who you think Keyshawn Davis should fight next?" I don't know, bro. To be honest with you, I haven't really been worried about Keyshawn. You know what I mean? I'm still kind of disappointed in Keyshawn for how he carried himself, in the whole lead up to that Edwin De Los Santos fight. The way that he, in my opinion, missed weight purposely. The fact that he was in the arena the next day laughing and eating popcorn, like, he ain't have nothing to be ashamed of. Then, I seen Tim Bradley was saying how Keyshawn was just having problems with everybody. It kept starting drama. Then his brother loses to Nair Albright, and they make a scene backstage, and stuff like that, bro. Just very, very. I'm very disappointed in Keyshawn, bro. I wasn't the biggest Keyshawn Davis fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I did salute him. I did salute him because I liked what he was doing. I was rooting for him against Baranchek. You know what I mean? I wanted to see him do something with De Los Santos. I was really intrigued with that fight. You know what I mean? And to be real, he probably would have beat that one. But the fact that you purposely missed weight, it's like it kind of gives me this I could take an angle where it's like you ate yourself out of the fight, or you may not have wanted to fight. Now that may not be the reality, but when you do unprofessional shit like that, you're creating that angle for yourself to, be negatively criticized. He said, didn't Key retire? Yeah, that's what Keyshawn was talking about. Retiring. Nigga said, I'm damn near retired because, he on top ranked shit list right now. And they probably not going to let him fight for the rest of the year as a punishment. And it's like, can you really blame them? Can you really blame them for being upset with Keyshawn? They took the time to make the fight happen in his hometown. You know what I mean? I forgot exactly where he's from. He's from where he from in Virginia? He's I don't even remember. Same place Purnell from. Norfolk. Sorry, he's from Norfolk. Yeah. Shout out to Marlon. Yeah, he's from Norfolk. So I forgot why I even brought that up. Oh yeah. Top Rank brought one of their cars to Norfolk. They could have kept that shit in Vegas, Cali, Texas, New York, wherever the fuck they want to be at. They decided to they believe in you so much, they decided to take their time to make the fight happen in Norfolk. And they did it for you before. And they seen, the potential that you have to become a star in Norfolk, sell tickets in Norfolk. So they doubled up on you. They went to go try again. I'm sure they put a whole lot of money into promoting the fight in Norfolk, and they put money into the fight in general. Guaranteeing you a payday, and guaranteeing Edwin De Los Santos a payday. And for what I heard, Edwin De Los Santos got paid and he didn't even fight. So them niggas literally just lost bread. Bellaface says, side note, why the fuck was Barichek a champion? These sanctioning bodies, man. Well, because this motherfucker Emmanuel Navarrete didn't beat him. That's why. He moved up the weight, looked like absolute horse shit, and Dennis Barichek beat him for a vacant belt. It is what it is. He said Vic and AI was there. Yeah, that's what's really embarrassing. You brought legends. You brought legends over to your fight. You had Michael Vick at the weigh-ins, Allen Iverson in the building and all this shit, bro. All these niggas backing you, and that's how you gonna play it. That's how you gonna play it. You pretty much you disrespected them. You owe everybody an apology, Keyshawn. And the fact that it took you like what, a month and a half for you to apologize on live, that just made me feel like you wasn't apologetic at all. Like somebody, forced you to do that. Like what? It took you that long. Nigga, you should have apologized right after the win. Right after the win. You should apologize to Edwin De Los Santos for the most part because he looked like motherfucking Skeletor and still made weight. You know what I mean? You should apologize to your fans because they was all hyped to see you. But because you unprofessional, they won't be seeing you. And they paid their hard-earned money to come see you. And they probably going to have trouble getting a refund because of your stupid ass. Then you should apologize. You should apologize to your promoter for them, for you fucking up a situation. They'd put a lot of money into the, try to make you a star. That's another thing. You should be apologizing to your brothers because you embarrassed them. To be real, you embarrassed them. Even the nigga who lost, you embarrassed them. Because I'm sure he gave the nigga respect for beating him. And you go in there being salty. You can't even handle your brother taking the L. Imagine you. Bomac was apologizing and Bomac didn't have to. That's how you know he a fuck nigga, bro. That's how you know he on nut shit. When niggas are apologizing on your behalf, it's because you dead wrong. You was a sucker ass nigga for that. So I don't know what's next for Keyshawn, bro. Y'all see, I said all that to say I don't even know what's next for him. Slime, what up? I don't even know what's next for him. What is next for him? Somebody in the WBO rankings? I don't know. Let's see Keyshawn versus Jermaine Ortiz. Fuck it. Keyshawn versus Sandor Martin. Don't give him no when he finally come back, don't give him no tune-ups. He don't deserve one. Go ahead and fight a Jermaine Ortiz. you know what I mean, who just won not too long ago. We'll get you a Sandor Martin, somebody credible. How about Albert Puello? He ain't got a world title no more. Fight him. It took him like 3 months to apologize. That's even worse. I said a month and a half. You saying it's double. Yasir said, bro got a weird ass personality. Does bro have mental issues? There's definitely things that Keyshawn does that makes me feel like he's very unstable from a mental aspect, especially, in the emotional department. He's very unstable. But I heard him say on live, I don't know if it was an interview or on live, that he was 302 before. You know what I'm saying? Like he was 302 before, meaning, you know what I mean? He was pretty much checked into like a mental facility. You know what I mean? And then I don't know if it's true. This is alleged, of course, but they said that he back when he was younger, he had like this tendency of he had like he wanted to unalive himself. So that when people usually are down that bad where they're considering unaliving themselves, you're at a real low. You're in a really low place mentally. So for those of y'all don't know what a 302 is, to get 302 means that's an involuntary commitment to a psychiatric placement at an inpatient psychiatric unit. You know what I mean? So it's when you're forced to be put in a psychiatric hospital. You know what I mean? Because they're a danger to themselves or others due to mental illness. So they pretty much force you to be in a psychiatric hospital because you have tendencies that could either be harmful to yourself or others. Keyshawn said he was 302 before. He said that, not me. So that when your mental health is that bad where you're being involuntary, that means without a choice, you're forced pretty much. You're forced into a psychiatric hospital. There's something unhinged there. So yes, Keyshawn is a bit unstable. I'm not saying he's like a fucking terrible person. You know what I mean? You could fuck up and still be a good person, y'all. You know what I mean? This ain't me shitting on him, but he got a couple screws loose for sure. But for anybody that's ever been in boxing, I'm gonna just say this right now. For anybody that's ever been in boxing, a lot of these niggas got a couple screws loose. You got to think about it. To be a boxer, to have like boxing as your profession, and to like voluntarily take damage, brain wise, for a check, that's insanity. That shit that only makes sense to crazy motherfuckers. A normal person would never do it. And me growing up, I felt like if if you wasn't mentally strong enough to be a boxer, that you was pussy. Whole time is no, them niggas just normal. You not. I'm like, oh yeah, we crazy. Because amongst normal people, they think we crazy for doing that. And they might be right. Bro, all these dudes crazy, bro. In their own way. I knew something was wrong with me when I enjoyed hurting people. I knew that for a fact. I used to take pride in punishing people. Like that was my shit. It was nothing better than that. That's how I knew something was crazy with me. But if you understood how I grew up, you will understand why. Keyshawn, he a little off. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody perfect, but yeah. But I got 2 opponents lined up for Keyshawn. 3 opponents. Sandor Martin, Albert Puello, you know what I mean? And Jermaine Ortiz. Fight him. Jermaine Ortiz looking for a scrap. He ain't gonna. I guarantee you, he won't turn down that fade. Jermaine Ortiz really like that. Now, whether he beats Keyshawn or not, I don't know. I don't think he beats Keyshawn, but he'll fight Keyshawn for sure. He over here calling out Shakur and all types of shit. You know, not many people calling out Shakur for real. So a lot of motherfuckers avoiding him. What about Mercado? I'm gonna say this. I don't think Mercado is at the stage of his career yet where his team will think that fighter makes sense for him. Because we got to think about it. Keyshawn not a champion at 40 right now. He's merely a contender as of right now. He hasn't even he might not actually fight at 140 his next fight. We don't know what the fuck he gonna do. But what I do know is pretty much. Wait, what? Let's see. Said, no, Keyshawn is off for blowing weight like that while De Los Santos was looking like Thriller MJ. Facts. And you could tell Keyshawn didn't even try. Like when Keyshawn was saying, I just couldn't get the weight off. He was full of shit because, first of all, his body was dry. So when I seen that his body was dry, I was like, oh, he didn't even try to make weight. So that's one. You know what I mean? Because if you was just fresh off of working out or whatever, you would have been on that scale filled with sweat. Your body was bone dry. Then when you look at his physique, you can tell he still had a lot of water in his system. So my opinion, I think he missed weight purposely. Like if we would have seen, if you really was trying to cut the weight, we would have seen the effort some way, somehow. You didn't look drained. None of that. De Los Santos was looking like 50 Cent in that movie nobody saw. Yeah, 50 swore he was going to get a Grammy for that. Nigga just got hospitalized. But back to your question, Aldapal, you said, what about Mercado? I don't think Mercado's at the stage of his career where his team would even entertain that fight. Keyshawn's not a champion in the division. None of that. Mercado just started cracking the 140-pound ranking. So he's just transitioning to that, contender stage, to be honest. But Mercado is a problem. He could fight. That little nigga could fight. Don't get it fucked up. I'll bring him back on the channel soon. So this what I'm going to do, y'all. I didn't even tell y'all. I'm bringing Greg Hackett back. I got to set that up with him. I want to bring Mike Fox back because I really fuck with Mike Fox heavy. Shit. Who else? I'm setting up I'm polishing up for that Nonito Donaire interview. I mean, that's in the bag. I just got to solidify it. And who else? I might lock in. I want that Blair Cobbs interview. I look like Morgan Freeman. That's fucking hilarious. I've never heard that in my life. The last nigga that I look like is Morgan Freeman. That's crazy. That nigga Slime sit on Corona bottles to get a rush. I never heard that in my life. I might actually take a picture of that. Mark look like Morgan Freeman? That's insane. He makes the fight interesting. He talks shit to both Shakur and Keyshawn. If you're referring to Tito, that's a fact. He definitely don't bite his tongue. And he puts on exciting performances as well. He said a Puerto Rican Chris Brown. They was calling me Chris Indigo on YSM channel. If y'all would have looked through my interviews on YSM Sports Media, bro, just look at the comments. Do y'all know the girl Meatball that be going viral on Instagram? Y'all remember that Fat John Meatball? She from Philly. She be going viral on Instagram, and she told me personally years ago, because I had a homie who lived right across the street from her. She told me I look like Chris Brown. She said that pretty light skinned nigga look like Chris Brown. I was like, oh my God. Mind you, I didn't even know who she was at the time. But my homie told me that like she was she was a clown and shit. Like she used to make the whole block laugh and shit. And that she would be going viral. I didn't even know who she was. Then I started seeing her on my time. I'm like, oh shit, that's her. I got a direct story with Meatball. I doubt she would even remember that. But she told me that shit. She lived up Alany. Yeah. But I like how the way Tito Mercado fight too, bro. He could definitely rumble. He fast. You can tell he got some athleticism too. He punched really hard. Like he got some good punching power, bro. Like I experienced, I seen it myself. When I was seeing him hit the bag, I was like, this nigga's strong as shit. Cause there's certain noises that the bag make that lets you know whether a nigga cracking or not. And his punches on the bag sound like gunshots. Like, I'm not even spicing, glazing, none of that. Like his punches were legit fast and powerful. So Mercado definitely got a lot of potential. But like I said, he just starting to crack the rankings at 140. Well, he just hit like number 14, number 15 in the IBF. I think he got a spot in the WBO rankings as well. But like Tito Mercado, he could, you know what I mean? He's just starting to crack that contender stage. Where Mercado from? He from Shakur area. He from California. He from Cali. He from around LA, I believe. His real name is Ernesto. A lot of people call him Tito, but his real name is Ernesto. So he from Pomona, California. I think that's near LA. Is it? Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, it is. It's not too far from LA. So, Fighter of the Year from Mazuma TV Awards is Bud, hands down. Facts. Facts. Tito Mercado is Mexican, and I think he's from Nicaragua, I think. I think he claimed Nicaragua though. I don't think he claims Mexico. Yeah, Nicaraguan heritage. Yeah. He told me on my channel, he was like, he said when he fights Subrel, after he beat Subrel ass, I'm gonna be in the ER feeding him my doodles. That was the craziest shit I ever heard, bro. He was saying some wild shit. If y'all ain't see that interview, go watch that shit, bro. That nigga said I'm gonna have to be feeding Subrel my doodles in the ER. That shit was wow. I ain't never heard no shit like that. Then this nigga said, that Abdullah Mason and his brothers is the Jackson Five. I was like, bro. I was low key thinking, damn, I was like, damn, that's a little bit racist. I was thinking, oh, is that racist? I was kind of confused. But I think it is five of them niggas. That was the funny part. I think it is five of them Mason brothers, though. That Matias and Puello fight is a legit contender for Fight of the Year. Absolutely. We got a few Fight of the Years, y'all. Lester Martinez, Christian Mbili, Connor Ben, Eubank, one. Fuck, what was the other one? Anonymous said it in the group chat earlier. What was the other one? That Matias Puyo fight was fire, for sure. Damn, what was that one? Ralph, what was the one Anonymous said in the group chat? It was yeah, some good ass fights. Benavidez Morel, there you go. That was a great fight too. Yeah, Morel Benavidez was really good. That was a slept on banger right there. But I told niggas that was gonna be a crazy fight. I was nervous for Benavidez for real. Morel versus Katiev. That was a hell of a fight. I mean, you could have gave that to Katiev, but I ain't tripping though, because he a drug cheat. Fuck him. Remember what he said about the Queen of England about fighting Dalton? Yeah, that was some wild shit. I think he said some shit about like Queen Elizabeth popping out her grave or some shit. I'm like, yo, this nigga, you could tell I was listening to him, bro, and like I was laughing, but in the back of my head, I'm like, bro, this nigga needs to be media trained ASAP. Cause if he starts saying that shit when he a champion, they gonna cancel his ass. If Morel stopped playing and lock in, nobody beating him. Say, you don't think Morel locked in? I think Morel just a motherfucker who I think he hard headed. I think he a stubborn dude. He like the you know what I mean? He a dog, so that's just how he like to rumble with. You know, when you got that mentality, you gotta deal with whatever come with it. All right, Simon, you just gotta let me know what account it is. Morel wasn't going for the body. Man, Katiev was strong as shit, bro. You don't wanna change levels and go for that body and run into one of them hard ass counters, bro. If you really think about it, big punchers don't really get hit to the body. You know what I mean? Like they really don't. Like you don't really ever see Canelo get hit to the body. You don't ever really see Tank get hit to the body. Issac Cruz, you don't really see him get hit to the body. The only power puncher I've seen really get hit to the body was Zhang when Cabiel folded him. Like motherfuckers don't be really wanting to go down there. They be discouraged. What the fuck? Bro, I'm not giving that channel a wrench, bro. I'm not giving Skylar a wrench. I'm sorry. Tay says Morel could have got Katiev out of there, but every time he hurted him, he danced. He could have just let him sit around to teach him a lesson. I think Morel was just very because even when Katiev was hurt, he was still punching. So when you got a big puncher like Katiev in front of you, bro, you gotta be cautious at all times because even when they hurt, they still dangerous. And you know, you could have somebody hurt, you could try to punch on them, you run into a shot from them, and now you hurt. So it's like, and Morel already done got put down. So it's like, um, I think it was just a matter of him just not, getting too greedy. But I see what you're saying though. I thought he had Katiev hurt a couple times, but you know what I mean? The respect he had for Katiev's power discouraged him from stepping on the gas because he ain't want to run into no shit. Ghost, people say Xander can't crack, but come forward fighters don't try his body after they get countered. I'm gonna say this: Xander not like a one punch knockout artist. He got that like accumulative power. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say that they're both equally dangerous. They're both equally dangerous. I don't know, bro. Like you got a whole female as your picture. The bitch named Skylar. You trying to get me in trouble with my girl or some shit? I don't know what you want, bro. Yeah, bully. You say you see what Norman did to dude for throwing that jab to the body. It wasn't. It wasn't really about it being a jab to the body. It was how he overcommitted to the shot when he jabbed to the body. So it was like he was completely out of range. You know what I mean? He committed on a jab so much he was leaning over. And all Brian Norman had to do was, get out of range and jump into a fucking left hook. Shit's crazy. It is not the same height, Al. You said Roach and Pitbull gonna be good. They like same height. No, they not. Roach is taller than Issac. So Tank taller than Roach. Tank taller than Roach. Roach taller than Tank. But Tank and Cruz the same height. Slime's troll account. This name better. Cruz is like 5'4". Yo, 86, age 86. I think you being generous, brother. I ain't gonna lie. I think you being generous. You get that nigga like an extra. You give him an extra inch. Pause. Roach was taller than Tank. He was. So Lamont, if I had to guess, he like 5'6", 5'7", around there. You know what I mean? They all short. You know what I mean? But same height as Issac is insane. Definitely a mega pause. They were saying Tank like 5'5". So I'm like, all right, if that's the case, then Cruz might be 5'3". The fact that Issac Cruz like that short and this nigga done won a world title at 140 and like actually beating niggas the fuck up at 35 and 40, that's hilarious to me. Cruz, Tank, and Roach is the same height, basically under 5'7". So you telling me, Marlon, that if niggas is under 5'7", they all the same height? That's hilarious. I ain't too far off from them, nigga. I'm 5'9". Shit. Yeah, we short motherfuckers out here, boy. But women never told me that I was short. So it's like, I don't know. If bitches ain't saying that, I don't really care. Said I'm 5'6", I'm trolling. How old is you, Marla? And you probably already done told me, but where you from? Nick Ball like 5'4". Yes. Yeah. He's small as shit too. But at least he like at 26. Yeah, I mean this nigga Cruz at 35, 40. No neck, big ass head. You 22 and you from Omaha? Oh yeah, I remember you was shouting out Omaha after the Bud fight. You ain't ever meet Bud, Marlon? Nick Ball is actually 5'2". What the fuck? This nigga the same. My girl taller than that nigga. My girl like 5'5". Nick Ball 5'2" is crazy. Oh, you left Omaha at 11. You in Dallas now. So was you, Marlon, so was you conflicting with Earl and Bud for it? Because you know Earl from what? He from somewhere out in Dallas. Was it Fort Worth or something like that? I don't even know. Then Omaha from Nebraska. Or was it easy for you to pick? I'll just spit on myself. I'm drunk. Dank Father, what up? Who is you picking? You eating a cheeseburger right now? I believe you. Bam Rodriguez 5'4". I met Bam. He definitely small. But cool brother, man. I wish I had more time to speak to him. But like Bam antisocial for real. Like you could tell. I'm not. I don't know if antisocial is the right word, but he definitely is like closed off to people he don't really know. Like I could tell, like if he was cool with you, he probably talk more. But like I think he's a bit reserved, with strangers and shit. And I feel him because I was the same. I'm pretty much the same way. But let me see. Yeah, Bam small, bro. Where that picture at? Once I was, it was crazy. I was like, they was like, yo, Bam, about to do a media joint in Philly, blah, blah. This is the week of the fight. When he was on Boost undercard. I pulled up, I seen Bam at the corner. I was like, oh shit. That shit was fire. Let me see where he at. Trying to find the picture. There you go. This was November 6th. Yes, sir. There you go. Bam is the man. Bam is the man. Fuck with him, bro. And he signed my gloves with no problem. Introvert, I guess that's what you call it. You said Bam real cool with your fam? Salute. Everybody small except 160 plus. Not Fundora. Not Fundora. Shit. Fundora ain't small. Nigga, he big as shit. Pause. Keith gonna have a problem. Keith Thurman gonna have an issue, y'all. Cause Keith like 5'6", Fundora like 6'6". That's gonna be a bitch, bro. And plus, Keith Thurman gonna have to close that gap to get some punches off of Fundora, but Fundora good on the inside, or at least comfortable on the inside. So he gonna know how to slip them little shots in there on Keith, and Keith don't got the best chin. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like I seen the approach Keith took when he like, yeah, y'all say I can't take a body shot, but I've never been stopped to the body. It's like, nigga, cause you be running for your life. You be running for your life when you get hit to the body. You hold on for dear life and you spit your mouthpiece out so you could breathe. And like I seen you get rocked, like nigga. Fundora fuck around hurt Thurman with an uppercut or something. He said, I just whooped the shit out of Fundora Undisputed. Yo, you know what I'm going to do, man? One of these days, I'm going to buy Undisputed, bro. I got a big-ass monitor right there, bro. I got a big gamer monitor right there. I ain't going to lie. So this what happened. So I was taking the trash out, and one of my neighbors just put a brand new TV on the floor for motherfuckers. Like, it was a small TV, though. I'm assuming it looked like it's a 28 inch screen TV, and she was giving it up because she threw it out to the trash because she didn't have a remote for it. I'm like, what? Why you out your fucking mind? I was like, you could literally buy a universal remote. And what was crazy was we was talking about buying a monitor, and like that same day that we was talking about it, she put the shit out there. I'm like, a universal remote, like $8, yo. It's a brand new TV. Come to find out, you don't even need a remote for this shit. I'm like, bro, I'm about to just start playing the PS5. You know what I mean? Play Undisputed while I'm on live talking to y'all niggas. You know what I mean? We could talk boxing and y'all could watch my gameplay, all that. Because that's what I used to do with UFC before my channel started popping off. I started going live on YouTube, just knocking people out on UFC and shit. Yeah, I got a PS5 right there, but we don't ever use this shit because we be so busy, bro. Like we don't be getting home. We be leaving the crib 8 in the morning. We don't be getting home till 8, 8:30. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna start doing. Yeah, but this TV ain't a Roku though. It's a Sony. But like I said, they got universal remotes for that exact TV on Amazon for like $8. So I'm like, you about to throw a whole TV out because you don't want to order an $8 remote on Amazon? Y'all can go ahead and give me that. Easy money. One thing about my crib, we got TVs everywhere. This TV right here, like a 70-inch. The joint in my bedroom, like a 55. My sunroom got a little small joint too, for sure. Sony got the best TVs. I fuck with my Roku TVs. I ain't gonna lie. I like my TCL joints. I like my TCL Roku joints. They just easier to navigate for me personally. Marlon says, "Damn, Marlon, did you answer my question?" Let's see. You ain't answer my question. Oh, it was easy. I always thought Bell was the better fighter. Never mind. You answered it. You say you got the same exact shit. John McSmith, what up? Yeah, I like my Roku TV. And what's crazy is I bought these Johns off Facebook Market. So the 70-inch John I got off some fat John. She was moving out and was just trying to get rid of shit. She wanted like 400. I was like, 400. I was like, you tripping. I started talking her down. I was able to get that John up off of her. Then the John that I got in my bedroom, some white boy was given a budget by his company to do this photo shoot or video shoot or whatever. He had to order some TVs. He ended up getting more TVs than he needed for the shoot. So he was just selling them for like dirt cheap, bro. It was like a 55-inch TV. I think he wanted like a 120. I was like, what? I thought we was getting robbed. I pulled up on my mans. I'm like, bro, there was a little punk ass white boy with a brand new TV still in the box. I'm like, oh shit, all right. He was scared of us. I'm like, nah, bro, here, bro, we ain't on that. Give him the bread. Man, building this apartment was a process, bro. But I love it. Love my crib, bro. Oh shit, what happened? Who sent me? Somebody sent me a cash app? Oh, oh, all right. Fuck happened? Shit, acting up. One 20, I'll be thinking he put a track on my TV or something. Nah, bro. Shit was brand new. I had my Mexican homie mount my TVs. Oh yeah, I was up. I was up for sure. But oh yeah, by the way, I've been seeing this rumor going around. You know what I mean? Rolly Romero. I think like Dan the Boxing Man posted it on Twitter talking about Manny Pacquiao, Rolly Romero are finalizing the deal to fight next in Vegas. You know what I mean? And let me see. You know, Pacquiao, let me see. He said we are negotiating and finalizing. You know, and I asked Rolly about it. And this nigga said that Pacquiao capping for real, for real. He said, I roll fuck him up, Rolly. with the link. He said, still not made. I said, damn, Pacquiao out here capping. He said, nah, it's not closed. Like pretty much like the deal ain't, closed. And he said, it's an option. So I don't know what the fuck Pacquiao talking about. But according to my boy Rolly, he capping. And I'm going to tell you this. And I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Y'all niggas could say whatever. I'm rooting for Rolly heavy on that John. Just because this dumbass old head don't know how to step away from boxing. So guess what? Barrios punk ass couldn't do it. So we need to go ahead and see Major Key. What up? So now I need to see Rolly make an example out of Pacquiao. For real, for real. I hope Rolly run him into some shit and get him that Marquez syndrome. That's the type of time I'm on, bro. We got to get these old niggas off the block. Pac don't duck no smoke. I hope not. He better duck that motherfucking left hook he gonna run into. Because if Rolly crack him, he gonna put Pacquiao out for sure. I need Rolly to knock him out. All right, Bella. What you mean, all right? Y'all niggas rooting for Pacquiao? Y'all niggas crazy. Y'all want this old nigga to beat Rolly? You crazy. We gotta get these old niggas out of boxing. They holding up the division, bro. Pacquiao, Rolly going, yeah. He gonna knock Pacquiao the fuck out. I'm like, oh yeah, get him up out of here. Terrence Smith said, shit, at least Manny ain't robbing a bank and actually fighting active fighters and giving them the platform. I'm a agree with you, brother. Especially with everything that's going on today. Yeah, I agree with him. Pac-Man gonna surprise y'all again. Tripping. Pac-Man legs is shot. Bro, y'all niggas got a little bit of hype because Barrios ass. Y'all gonna realize real quick, Pacquiao old and Barrios ass. That's what we gonna get. That's the consensus we gonna reach after Rolly beat him. And it ain't because Rolly like this fantastic fighter. Pacquiao don't got it no more, cuz he don't. What if Pac sparked Rolly? Oh my God. Pac do got the power to hurt Rolly. I'm gonna say that. He do. If he stopped Rolly, bro, oh my God. Over like Norman. We gotta get Norman. Somebody gotta get him. But then Norman might lose the dove. Fuck. Well, I know for a fact Pacquiao can't beat Dev. Well, we never know factually until it happens, but I'm very confident Dev will beat Pacquiao right now. Pacquiao don't got no legs anymore, bro. He's 50 years old. He's 46, 47 years old. Them legs ain't gonna be underneath him. That was his defense for real. That in and out movement. It was hard to time him. You know, it took Marquez 4 fights to time Pacquiao and land that money shot. He's not really predictable. You feel what I mean? But since he ain't got that in and out movement, he is sit and duck. That's the perfect style for Rolly. For real. Rolly's got to make sure his defense tight. Or he not getting hit with no unnecessary shit. But I seen him piece up Barrios, and Barrios wasn't even hurt. Wasn't, really getting hurt. So I don't know. You know what I mean? His power probably not the same either. Because a lot of his power was generated off of his speed and his legs. Didn't Rolly get dropped by an old man already? You talking about Ismael Barroso, who stopped the shit out of O'Hara Davies. That nigga Ismael Barroso really cracking. So I ain't even about to play Barroso. Like, he could punch. And this nigga was just giving somebody work the other day. Barroso was just giving somebody the business the other day. I think he lost, but that's when Mayweather gonna come in. Maypack too. And Mayweather ain't coming back to. He not ever coming back to the pros. He's just gonna do exhibitions the rest of his life. Barrios got more skills than Rolly. Barrios was fucking terrible. I don't know what you talking about. Where the fuck was his skills at in that Pacquiao fight? Where was his counter punching? Where was his jab? Where was his combinations? Where was his ring IQ? Where's his skills that you're referring to? He looked like shit against Abel Ramos. Looked like shit with Manny Pacquiao. And plus, his mentality not even there. And Rolly's skills have improved since being with Ismael Salas. He has improved. Rolly never gonna be like this fucking Guillermo Rigondeaux, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker type of fighter. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But his skills have improved, and he showed discipline in that Ryan Garcia fight. So, you know what I mean? He's growing from a mental aspect, just like he is from a skill set standpoint. And to be real, with the current with the version of Pacquiao that we got now, he don't need to be skilled to beat him. He's just gonna need to. Rolly gonna have to get back to his mean bag. He gonna have to make this a fight. If he want to really stop Pacquiao or really fuck him up, he gonna have to really make this shit a fight. I want to see Rolly make this shit a shootout. Why did Barrios leave Virgil? I have no clue. But I do think Barrios' best version of himself was with Virgil Hunter. That's for sure. You know these fighters disloyal, bro. Like they'll team up with a coach. They'll win. They get world titles, all that. Then they get one loss. And then instead of blaming themselves or coming back to the team to try to sharpen up on things, I need a change in scenery. I just need I feel like I've learned everything I needed to learn with this coach. I need to go get another one. Like, man, y'all niggas nutty. Look at some of the most successful fighters in boxing. They stood down with the same team. Crawford stood down with the same team. Canelo stood down with the same team. You feel what I mean? Mayweather stood down with the same team. And the only reason why he left Roger for Rose because Roger was going through his health issues and unfortunately passed away. You feel me? Tito Trinidad, my favorite fighter all the time, still with the same team. See, Barrios used to be skilled, though. He had fast hands, good combinations. He was technically sound, accurate body puncher, good power, sharp, killer instinct. Bro, go look at old Barrios fights. Look at his old fights before he fought Tank and all that when he was at 40. Barrios was nasty, bro. Like real life nasty. Offensively, he was one of my favorite fighters. I love his creativity offensively. He always had a little defense issue, a little footwork issue, but for the most part, Barrios was very sharp, great punch selection, good counter puncher, good timing, accurate body puncher. Like Barrios was nice. He was nice. Do I think Tank changed Barrios? I don't know if Tank is responsible for changing Barrios. You know what I mean? That's a possibility. Maybe his back-to-back losses affected him. Maybe, him, losing a Tank You know what? It might have been Thurman because Thurman really see like Barrios was competitive with Tank until Tank hurt him. You know what I mean? So he didn't really take much damage in the Tank fight. With Thurman, he was getting beat up. Like he was getting outclassed, getting beat up. So yeah, Tank stopped him. Thurman didn't stop him, but I feel like he took more punishment in the Thurman fight than he did with the Tank fight, just because it went the full distance and his face was all swelled up. And you know, Barrios always looked crazy after a fight because his face real sensitive to punches. But if he changed after any fight, it was probably after the Thurman one. You know what I mean? Just didn't look as sharp. But that could be a mental thing too. It's probably not even a trainer situation. It's probably not even a him being damaged situation. Shit. My boy Jamil asking for a link, so that's how we gonna close out. For real, for real. My boy Jamil wanna get on here. Oh shit, hold up. Alright. Alright. Do I think Bob Santos is a good trainer? I really don't know too much about Bob Santos to really give you a definitive answer. But one thing I do know is that Barrios don't respect him. He don't. And one of the reasons why I say that is because when he was in the corner, he was giving Barrios some sound instructions. Barrios saying, listen to none of them instructions. He even advised Barrios to stop touching gloves with Pacquiao. He kept touching gloves with Pacquiao. When I see that, it's either because when I see fighters do that, it lets me know that for one, they don't believe in their coach, don't trust their coach, or they just don't respect them. They feel like they know more than them. You know what I mean? And that's just always that's always confused me. Because for real, if you feel like you know more than your coach, or you feel like, you know what I mean, your coach don't know shit, then why are you paying him to, you know, be in charge of your training camp? Never understood that shit. If you genuinely don't think much of your coach, why is he in your corner? Is it because he's a yes man? Is it because he's just convenient? Is it like, what is it? You said, I just peeped the punch machine vid. You got a nasty left. I broke that, John. You know that? I've broke like 2 punch machines before. I broke records on them Johns, and they'll always be with my left hook. Let me see. The last one I did the John when I went on vacation not too long ago. I don't think I broke the record on that one though. I was kind of upset about that, but it is what it is. Yo, what's going on, Mil?
With your left hook, how very Puerto Rican of you.
Yeah, man. You gotta have one.
Yo, funny thing is, right? So remember young boy Hashim from UK?
Yeah.
So he's sparring Josephat.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, and he boxing Josephat with his hands down, like it's and he was helping Josephat prepare for his fight against what's the kid name? Justin Valori. So he was boxing out of the southpaw, and I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, pick that fucking hand up. He's Puerto Rican.
He didn't understand that.
Like you don't get a chance to see that. You live in the UK, so you don't know. But he got that lead hand all the way down. Like, nah, dog, you can't do that.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's a no-no. I used to pray that niggas did that shit with me.
They'll turn your fucking lights out, yo. And
Real shit. Bro, I got so many videos on my phone of putting people out with that joint.
I think the left hook to the body might be better than the left hook to the head, though.
Well, it depends. Cause I got both. I got videos both of them joints. But yeah, it depends. Depends. You talking about Puerto Ricans overall?
Puerto Ricans overall.
Oh yeah. The left hook to the body is definitely there. I'm trying to find that joint where I hit the punching machine. Probably deleted that joint. But anyways, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. You know, like little
like
bullshit.
Shit on your mind.
Nah, I mean, you know, little bullshit annoys me, but overall, I'm chilling. Next week of boxing is gonna be a real busy, big week for me, so I got to get through that.
All right. Hey, what you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing how the boy look at 54, man. I'm expecting something explosive. You know, he's been getting a lot of bullshit. And it's kind of tough to watch. It's crazy how boxing treats boxers.
Right.
It's like I hear more bullshit about the top 10 fighters in the world than I hear good. It's like everybody has a complaint. Everybody has a story. It's something that they're not doing. It's something that they should be doing. It's somebody they're scared of. And it's just like, oh, my God. You can't, to the point where you can't even enjoy the sport. Fans and media make it less than, like, just damn near impossible for you not to enjoy boxing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they love dwelling in the negative, bro. It's crazy. They ain't even giving Boots a chance to really, you know, get into the division without talking shit. It's crazy.
Yo, the narrative that I'm seeing, I see this constantly in my comments. Oh man, he's 28 and he ain't for the real contender yet. When is he going to have a real fight? He just unified the division.
He beat a champion. Fuck you mean a contender?
It's weird to me because I'm seeing that narrative and I'm like,
you know what I feel like?
I feel
like they don't be knowing the definition of the shit they be saying.
No, I don't think so.
They don't, bro, because they'll say shit like, "Oh, he a prospect."
Yeah.
Oh, when you gonna face a contender? Huh? It's like, bro, you know that this nigga not a prospect. How can you say somebody a prospect when they got 2 world titles? 3 world titles.
3 world titles to be technical.
For real. So it's like, how is that a prospect? Do you even know what a prospect is?
A lot of them don't really watch boxing. They regurgitate what they hear. They have limited knowledge. A lot of these fans just became Crawford fans. They're casuals. For you to even echo that sentiment, you call the champion a prospect? How the fuck is that? Yo, all these dudes is around the same age, right?
Yeah.
All these, like literally, Keyshawn, all these dudes is around the same age. It's certain dudes you don't hear about, like when they gonna step up in competition. It's only the guys that people feel like is good and they don't like them, so they want to see them lose, and they think it's specific guys that could beat them. So those are the guys they want them to fight. And or they really don't know that much about boxing. Because T.O. and Devin, like those are the fights that they're holding over his head. Y'all said Devin was broken. Y'all said Devin was washed. Y'all said Devin was shell shocked a couple months ago. I remember. I was there. You were laughing at him. All of a sudden, that was a fight that you would give him credit for. And you know, I love Devin. But is that a fight that they would have gave him credit for? No. They would say he fighting a smaller dude, he cherry picking, he bump bashing. Theo. Is that a fight that they would say, oh, look, Moose fighting a smaller man again? But they hold that against him when he doesn't. is weird, bro. It's weird. They held Shakur. They held Shakur for fighting Padley. Like Kid Austin didn't pull out a couple days before. Oh, you could have found somebody better than that. See how the boxing works?
No, you're not. See, and I was trying to tell people that at the time, bro. There's nobody in the top 10 or the top 5 that's gonna fucking fight Shakur on 48 hours notice.
Nope.
Like, it's not gonna happen. They not about to fuck up their situation to fight on 2 days notice. Look what happened with Bacoli.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what happened with Bacoli. Bacoli was, he's still a contender. You know what I'm saying? But like, he lost some momentum after that shit, and he looked like dog shit after FA after that.
Lost a whole lot of momentum, and let's keep it a beam. Bacoli don't got to make weight.
Yeah.
Padley came in on weight, so salute to him. Like,
I think he already had some shit lined up. I think he was already. I don't think he was fighting on that particular card. But he was already in the gym getting ready for some shit, and he took the opportunity. And guess what? It worked out for Padley because he got signed with Matchroom. You know what I mean? He winning some fights. I think he got a big fight coming up. So shout out to Josh Padley. But motherfuckers who in the top 10, top 5 are not about to fight Shakur Stevenson on no 2 to 3 day notice, bro. And I actually seen more people criticizing Shakur than Kid Austin.
Yes. And that's my point, though.
That blew my mind.
That's my point, though. That's the climate of boxing. That's the boxing fan, the current boxing fan. They criticize the dude that was ready to fight and not the dude that pulled out.
Right. And Sean Terrence said Shakur got the KO. They were still complaining.
They was complaining that he took long.
Yeah.
The reality is, can you imagine?
Rounds? It took you this many rounds?
Bro.
So if he would have not got the knockout, then you couldn't get the knockout in any round. The fact that he get a knockout, you ain't get the round. Why you ain't get the knockout in this round?
Yo.
Like, this shit crazy.
And then the same dude will say, oh man, well, why don't Tank care about the fans? These fighters today are different. You know why they don't care? It's because of how y'all act. They don't give a flying fuck about y'all no more because y'all unrealistic. You're never satisfied and unappreciative.
Yeah.
Josh Padley came off the fucking couch with 2 days notice. First off, can you imagine if you got that phone call? Can you imagine how he was? Like, fighters don't, like, Mark can tell you, Mark's the son of a manager, a trainer himself. Fighters don't make money. 99% of fighters do not make money. So can you imagine being in the gym, getting ready for a $5,000, $10,000 fight, and them saying they got 500 for you?
Shit, 5 might be generous depending on the situation too.
But wait, I want to point something up. So Josh, to my knowledge, Josh got 500 for that fight. Josh got 500 to fight Shakur Stevenson. Meanwhile, the world was bitching. He got 500 on short notice to fight Shakur. Meanwhile, the world was bitching that niggas was getting offered 500 to fight Boots.
Why? What I also want to ask is, why is that a concern of fans about what somebody being offered? Like, why do they care? Why is that your business? And this another thing I was saying too. I said this shit a while back, bro. Remember when like fighters used to like actually do like fan meetups and shit like that? Like they used to be like, yo, I'm gonna be here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be at this expo, whatever. I'm gonna sign some autographs, take pictures with the fans, bro. They don't do that shit no more, bro.
Why would you hang before? I'm gonna hit you this out. Social media is the best thing and worst thing that ever happened because now everybody gets to see what you think. Every fan has a voice. Great thing and horrible thing because now fighters can see what you actually think of them. And they hate y'all.
That was my thing. I'm like, bro, y'all, that ain't, a coincidence. The only motherfucker that I know that do like fan meetups is like Benavidez, bro. Like I seen Benavidez do it a couple times. I think I even seen Bam do it before. But like, bro, they don't want to do that because they go on social media and see what these motherfuckers got to say and don't want to deal with him.
Why the fuck would I interact with you? Why would I waste my time, bro? And you wonder why Tank don't want to give y'all the fights that y'all want? Why should he care about you? Oh man, we the paying customer. You are, but guess what? You gonna pay to hate anyway. So I might as well do what I want to do. You gonna support me anyway? You gonna go there just to talk shit? Cool. So I don't gotta make you happy.
Yeah. Yep. He said Josh Padley was literally at his regular job, got the call at work. Fact.
Can you imagine him coming home and telling his chick, bro? His chick probably treated him real different after that conversation. You about to make what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Now he said right after that fight, he said, I no longer have to work my regular job. I can just focus on boxing.
So fucking happy for that kid. He fought his fucking heart out, man. It was just levels.
Yeah.
He didn't come in there for a check. He tried. It was just levels.
Right.
Then I seen him in a domestic fight, and he was out here fucking looking sharp as shit.
Yeah. I've seen a few fights that he had before Shakur. I always thought he had skills. He was nice. Like you said, though, it's levels, though. You could be nice and not look like shit when it comes to Shakur. Just because Shakur, like, he top tier. Let me see. He said, other fighters need to learn from Boots and just post and get off the net. I'm going to tell you this, though. Boots be seeing that shit.
Who said that?
Huh?
Who said that? Sean?
Oh, which part?
That post and get off the net.
Yeah, Sean Terrence said that.
Sean, he sees it.
Say that again?
I said, oh no, I was telling Sean, he sees that shit, Sean.
Nah, he see it.
He see it. He don't care, but he does care. Because the dudes, put it like this. The fighters that people be sticking up for, the fighters that he be hating on, like the guys that they put above him, or the guys that they be talking shit on the behalf of, they the ones that's going to have to pay with their blood. Just say that.
With their blood?
Yeah, bro. It's two dudes in particular that's going to have to pay with their blood. Yo. Just say that. Two dudes. Well, yeah. 2.5.
2.5?
2.5. 2.5. Guys that, whether it's the fans, whether it's the fighters or whether it's their dads, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say good luck, yo. Good luck. Because when that fighter goes in there, boy, woo! If it was your manager talking for you, you know what I mean? If your manager was on Instagram talking crazy, you won't have to pay for that, yo. You won't have to pay for that.
Dang. That's fucking hilarious. Blue Blood met Boots and be lying on Boots' name with I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. I don't even watch dudes, so I can't even say nothing about that.
I think he referring to the BLK shit, and the fact that they still talking about that is crazy to me.
I mean, Terrence brought it back up.
If I'm being honest, right? I think I think that that Boots' name vexes Terrence. I think that in his mind, why the fuck are y'all still talking about him? Like, I just beat Canelo and you still bringing this kid up. And he don't want to fight Boots, right? And logically speaking, he shouldn't want to fight him. But I think it's hurting his pride because he a dude that has spent his whole entire career like wanting to smoke, and that kind of guy. And now you got a young boy that that he want to fight you. You know that he would fight you, and that you're 38, so you're a smart businessman. It don't make sense, but it still probably grinds his fucking gears that everybody still is bringing him up when in reality they shouldn't, but they should.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he needs to always reiterate, oh man, yeah, they had opportunities to fight me. What opportunities? Was it the WBO, that like staying in the WBO when you didn't fight your mandatory? And that you vacated the belt a year after you fought Earl Spence? That's an opportunity? Was it the BOK that Boots said yes to, and then you turn around and fought Earl Spence, which you should have? Was it that? Was those the two opportunities you referred to? They don't sound like opportunities to me, brother. Like you were the one on camera. If I'm not mistaken, you were the one on camera when everybody was getting on you about fighting Avanesian. They asked you about Boots and Virgil, and you said those names never came up. So you fought Avanesian. Those was your words, not mine. You fought Avanesian, and then you fought Spence. Where's the window where they could have had the fight? I mean, he was your mandatory. You got stripped. He was the number one contender of the sanctioning body that you were just in. You vacated your belt. I'm not saying you were wrong for it, but where were the opportunities? Virgil said Turkey offered you to fight. You wanted to fight Canelo. All good.
I remember in that $1 million worth of game interview, he was like, "Oh, he could have stood in the sanction. He could have stood. Why you ain't staying in WBO? Why you ain't staying in WBO?" And Gilly was like, even if he did, I'm paraphrasing. He said something along the lines of, "Would you have fought him if he stood in the rankings?" He said, "Probably not."
So then what the fuck are you telling?
I swear to God.
I just feel like that's you being disingenuous. You wouldn't have. You were fighting Earl Spence.
That's exactly what he said. He said, "Probably not. I got bigger fish to fry."
So then why are you even bringing it up? Yo, he left the WBO sanctioning body when he beat Karen Chikazin. He only left because you faced David Avanesian. He literally petitioned to fight Earl Spence. The IBF orders him to fight Karen for the interim. So you made your choice. Everybody was waiting around to see if Crawford versus Spence got made. So the first dude, I'm sorry, I'm fucking eating. The first dude that fired the first shot was Virgil Ortiz. He announces his fighting against David Avanesian. Virgil Ortiz petitions the WBA to fight Amanda Stanionis. Boots petitions the IBF to fight Earl Spence. Anybody, if I'm lying, Google it. Literally days after he announced Avanesian. So what I'm saying is, where's these opportunities?
Sound like they never came up. That's what it sounds like to me. Let's see. Salute, ETC. Salute. But did you go to that John that he did in Somerset?
Yeah, I went to that.
How was it?
It was good, man. It was good. It was good to see the kids were excited. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the kids were excited, bro.
that's dope. I used to play ball over there. They still got their court set up.
Yeah, they got courts, of course, on the first floor, and then they got a boxing gym on the top floor.
What?
Yeah, they got a boxing gym now.
Really?
Yep.
That's dope. They got a ring or they just got bags?
No, they got a ring.
Get the fuck out of here.
They got a ring.
Really? That's good to know. That's dope. That's dope.
So they got a chance to take pictures. He
They had
signed.
that before.
No, they didn't. He said it's been up for a year. But, not everybody's good in basketball. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
And so now you got the young boys with another outlet. And if they constantly staying in there, if they go from school there to home, what trouble can they get into?
Very little.
I gotta go train. My coach gonna come down here and kick me in my ass if I ain't in the gym. You know what I mean? So
yeah, bro. I say, man, I got a few kids off the street, bro. That's the best feeling ever. G-Bo, what up? He said, that's why his son. I'm just tapping in. It's been a while. What's going on, brother? That is why his son. Boots is the biggest. Minus all the weight class differences, Boots is the biggest fight for Bud. That should definitely go crazy if they were to do that.
to me, there's no chance. He's letting you know that he's never going to fight him. And he's trying to justify it by saying he had the opportunity to fight me. But I literally just went through the so-called opportunities. They used the Bozy Ennis quote, oh, man, we loyal to Showtime. The quote only meant, look, Showtime got to be involved. So negotiate with them and let's get a deal done. Crawford didn't even have a fucking contract with Black Prime. And I don't want to bring up his business, but the Black Prime shit did not go well at all.
That's why they chilled out for a little bit, right?
Yes. I ain't even going. I'm not even going to say what I know, but it did not go well. You feel me? Backroom shit. But man, look, to me the fight doesn't make sense right now. One dude moved all the way up to 68. We don't know what Buzz is going to do. Boots got a fight October 11th. So, hey. Who do I think had a better performance against Avanesian? I mean, one dude stopped Avanesian in 5. The other dude stopped Avanesian in 6. However, one dude knocked him out cold. Yeah, he knocked him out cold, and Boots made him quit. Yeah. So, however, if you want to see a dude quit, then go with Boots. If you want to see a dude laid out, go with Bud. Avanesian is my man. So I hung out with Avanesian for 2 weeks, bro.
He a gangster though, because he went right over to Boots camp to spar him after the fact. Yeah, he a real gangster though. Motherfuckers don't do that.
I was with Avanesian in the club, bro. He's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious.
Y'all niggas took Ebenezer to the club?
Bro, I was responsible for him, yo.
Oh.
So I was with it. I was with him.
Oh my God. You can't put boxers in the club, man.
Nah, he wanted to go out though, yo. He's like, I'm in America, I want to go out. You know what I'm saying? He not in camp for a fight, so
boxer is wild, so I can only imagine.
Yo, he don't drink enough like that, but he wanted to go out. He wanted to dance and shit, man. Avanesia's a dancing ball, yo. He a dancing ball. That's his thing. Huh?
That's the difference, though. Can he dance or he just be doing it?
He can dance for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yo. Let me see. He said, turn the club up. That's what it sounds like.
Bro, me and Johnny Ortiz was with Avanesian in the club. I'll tell you what the club, we was in Club Billionaire. You know what that joint is?
Nah, bro. I'm out of touch when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, it's a joint like right off what is that, like Harbison?
Also up northeast.
Yeah. It's like right before you get to 95.
Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah, I'm out of touch. The only club I've ever been to was Bukan.
Oh, that's my spot. That's not really a club though. That's like a restaurant.
That shit when I was there, bro.
No, that shit go up. It go up.
When I was in that motherfucker, bro. This bitches trying to dance on me that didn't even know me. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right. It is definitely. That's
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
it's another spot like that called Bar U too. Bar U or Dimensions. In the Northeast, it got
I
the
heard the dimensions. I heard the dimensions. And Baru is that they be having that mascot and shit, right?
I don't know.
They have like a mascot dancing in that joint.
Nah, he Armenian. He live in Russia, but he Armenian.
Damn, who's that?
Like Kim Kardashian, like that.
Oh yeah. Then I went to I knocked some nigga out outside of Bamboo. I never went again.
Yeah, you wild. He's crazy.
Knocked some Mexican boy out right in front of that Chinese store, bro. Bang!
Yeah,
Like,
Bamboo. You an old head for that. Bamboo?
bro, that was like 4 years. Nah. That was before my son was born. So that was like 3 years ago. Yeah, like 3, 4 years ago.
Marlon, ain't nobody coming to no fucking Nebraska.
Who said that?
Well, Marlon said.
Oh,
Marlon, that fight ain't happening in Nebraska, Marlon. I'm sorry.
that's a neutral, John. It said when Boost fight Barao next, niggas gonna be mad. Yo, I think Xander gonna get that shit, bro.
I don't know, man.
They plotting heavy on that. If Xander able to pull that shit off.
Yeah, them niggas ain't got a network deal yet, though. And now you got to out when you ain't got no network.
Rumble on Facebook Live, man.
Yeah, but you ain't got no network deal. You gonna outbid Eddie?
Nah.
That's the thing.
Nah, you not.
Now the only way I see Xander getting that is if Boots fight Virgil. If Boots fight Virgil, the problem is Xander, they're going to order that shit next. They're going to order it.
I don't believe Xander fighting Boots, bro. I don't see that
Yo,
shit.
you know what I heard today? Well, I already hit you to the Janibek Lara joint, and now that news is coming out. But I'm hearing that Raymond Mortai gonna vacate his belt and move up to 40.
Oh. Okay.
I'm calling that a duck, bro.
For Andy?
He ducked it, yo. That's a bad job. That's a duck, bro. That was a bad job, bro. He was just about to fight Kid Austin.
Is that why him and Kid Austin fell through?
I don't know, yo.
Oh, okay. It sounds like you do know, but it's cool. You see, Raymond saw Cruz in the rear view. Cruz gonna fuck that nigga up too, bro. I was like, damn, he can. I was telling myself, I was like, Andy could get him right now. Shit, I ain't see Andy in a minute though. When he coming back? You know?
I think that the holdup was, he the number one contender, so the holdup was what was going to happen with that fight. Andy fought at the top of the year, though.
Okay. Man, I would love to go over there for work with him. That'd be dope. Duck Goose. Shit. said, don't run. Jamel might get that. He just might.
Jamel might get what?
Barao.
Nah, Jamel fighting Spence.
Bro, I don't understand, bro. I get it, like the business and shit, but that's gonna. I don't know. That's gonna. I think that's gonna be a bad job for Spence, bro.
Nah, he gonna fuck Spence up.
Bro, I was watching Spence do pad work. This nigga all over the place.
He gonna fuck Spence up, bro.
Bro, he's done, bro. Like he's done.
Hey, my man Justin, sure about what? What's my thought on Roach and Cruz? Honestly, bro, you ever just not ask for a fight and you just wondering like how we got here? Yo, let's keep it a bean. I like Mont, and of course I wanted to see the Mont Tank rematch, but drop that belt, Mont. You're doing a whole bunch of other shit, bro.
Yeah.
This fight is at 40. Like, what are you doing, bro? Just drop that belt, yo.
And that's the thing, like, why
nobody
as much as he holding the belt, why they letting him hold it?
I don't know. Yeah, Justin, Charlo's fighting Spence. That's what I'm told. Charlo's fighting Spence.
Raymond Ducataya is crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas wild.
Hey, yo, I want to say something. It's a conversation that me and you were having earlier. So,
okay.
I got a whole bunch of phone calls. And you know how your peoples be angry. You were one of them, right? You know how your peoples be real angry when people be talking crazy about you, right? So I had about 5 or 6 people hit me up about this Brian Norman Sr. interview on Mill City Boxing. A couple things that bothered me about that. One, Mill City Boxing is my friend, right? And I haven't watched the interview, but from what I'm hearing, he kind of let Senior just go off on a tangent about me, right? So I'm not feeling that. And I was very instrumental in the building or the progression of the Mill City Boxing YouTube channel. I'm gonna say that. I'm not responsible for its success, but I was very instrumental in how that channel was curated. I'm just going to say that to the least, right? So I feel some kind of way that Bull was on there talking crazy and that George didn't interrupt him. But also, I'm feeling some kind of way towards this nigga Senior, bro. Why am I always a topic of conversation? I am not a celebrity. I do not box. But yet it's still, Mark, he brings me up fucking constantly, bro. I feel like I'm fucking Cardi B. I'll really be out here doing me. Hey, Justin, here's the thing, though. But that's my man. That's my man, though. When people was calling Mill City a racist, I stuck up for him.
I bet you if somebody disrespected Zab in front of Mill, he'll say something.
When they was calling him a racist for that Ryan Devin shit, I stuck up for him. So I feel away. And we're gonna talk about that, but I definitely feel away about it. I ain't gonna bash him or nothing because that's my homie, but I feel away. But this nigga Senior, bro, is like, as a matter of fact, we had the conversation, we just never finished it. Because we got interrupted. We had the conversation the other day. But this, like, bro, Brian Norman Sr. feels a way towards me, and he's accusing me of things that he wants me to do for him. His issue is I won't cater to his narrative, his anti-boots everyday narrative. He texts me all the time and trying to change my mind or change my perspective about boots. I'm a neutral platform. Nobody runs my shit or controls my shit. And I got receipts to back up everything. Why is it that Brian Norman Sr. is the only person that has an issue with me in boxing? Virgil Ortiz is Boots' op. Virgil Ortiz has no issues with it. Sits down and does interviews with us. Robert Garcia sits down and does interviews with us. My Robert Garcia interview is the quote that everybody uses about the 2 tune-ups. That's my shit. If Boots really controlled my channel, that wouldn't have went up. That doesn't go. That's not a good narrative to have about Boots, right? Virgil Ortiz talking about Boots turning down the fight. If Boots controlled my channel, that shouldn't go up, right? So wait, Blair can say what he wants on YSL. Virgil says what he wants. Robert Garcia says what he wants. Blair be talking cash shit.
Crazy.
Stanionis. Stanionis, Cody Crowley, David Avenesian. All these people have got a chance. Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman Sr. have all said their piece. Where was the control then? I feel he's trying to slander my platform because I won't do what he wants to do. Guess what? I don't work that way. My shit's going to pop regardless. You tell people not to watch, they're still going to watch. They may come in and hate and talk shit, but they're still going to watch.
That's a fact, bro. And I seen what Justin Jackson said. He said no loyalty in media, especially if your channel is stagnant. I get what you. I don't know. Me personally, when Brian Norman Sr. came up here and he was talking, he called Booth a bitch and shit like that. I had a problem with that, and I spoke on that shit immediately. Cause like me and Booth, like we don't got like no personal like friendship. Like I don't talk to him on the phone and he talk to me. But at the same time, bro, like that's somebody that I watch come up from the bottom, bro. Like ain't nothing about Boots that say bitch. And I got a lot of respect for his father, his brothers, everybody that be around him for real. You know what I'm saying? So when he talking about Boots a bitch and he don't never leave Philly and all this crazy shit, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is you talking about, bro? Like I'm quick to do that. So when I see Brian Norman, yeah, I had an issue with that shit. When I seen Brian Norman Sr. talking shit about Jamil, and he just sitting there like, I'm like, yo, like he enabling this shit. And I'm like, bro, if that's your man's, how you claim, bro, why are you not saying nothing? Like that's the big issue with me. It's like nigga, it's almost like you agree with the nigga in a sense. Because if you disagree, you would have spoke up like on some man shit. You ain't even try to do that. So it's like I don't know, bro. Me personally, I don't give a fuck if my channel's stagnant or not. You ain't getting off on somebody that I fuck with. There ain't no way they'd have said that shit about Jamil on here and I'd have just stood quiet or been smiling. Bro, that's weirdo activity, bro. I don't fuck with none of that shit. So that's what I think about that shit. You said this ain't the first time, Norman. Yeah, I know that.
Yo, and the funny thing is, early, like after we had that falling out, because he got mad about what some people said on my channel about like in reference to the Boots and Brian Norman negotiations. But I wanted to cook his ass, right? And I know y'all saw that shit on Mill City Boxing because I was looking to rumble. Like now I'm off that, but here he come back with the bullshit. It's like, bro, leave me the fuck alone, yo.
And on some real shit, nigga, I know you probably don't care to say this, but nigga, I know he not like that. I know you not like that. I seen him. I'm gonna keep it real. Dev would have did that shit. If Dev bodyguard would have did that shit, the niggas in Philly, that bodyguard wouldn't have made it out, bro.
Look.
Swear to God.
Look.
Swear to God.
Hey, yo, I want to say this though, Mark. Instead of worrying about me, that nigga lives in your city. You need to be worried about him. You get at him.
So you blaming your bicep, nigga. He blaming his bicep, nigga. I'd have tore that shit again to beat the
bro. I don't
beating the dog shit out of him. You crazy as
yo,
shit.
For me, I don't want drama because motherfuckers do this shit for the internet. Right. And I'm a dude that I'll go looking for you for real. But this is internet shit. So I don't want to be a part of it. I'm going to do my interviews. If you're going to get mad at somebody, get mad at the nigga that yoked you up. Talk crazy about him.
Bro,
Talk crazy to him.
God, bro. Swear to God.
Leave me the fuck alone, yo.
You can't be talking this tough shit, calling niggas bitches, and you getting
bro. I gotta see, like, yo, that's not your line no more, bro. You feel me? That's not you talking crazy. That's not your line no more.
It really ain't.
And I still don't bash your son, even when his pops acting like a nut. I'm not gonna bash your son. His son ain't got nothing to do with how his pop carries shit. And I don't like people trying to fuck with my money, bro. I don't like that.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part.
This is how I feed my kids. I built this shit from the ground up. I built this shit from nothing, Mark. Mark, you're actively doing it, so you know how hard it is to get people to care about something that they don't know anything about. And how long it takes for people to take you seriously.
I also remember when you came to my gym grand opening, you was still building. I remember that shit. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a couple of years back. Damn, that was like 4 years ago.
Nah, like 5. We opened in 2020. I seen it come up. So it's like, it's crazy what people will go to when they don't have a way. You know what I mean? Like, that's some spoiled bitch shit. Like, that's the shit my son do. Like, when I take his toy from him or something. Like, you ain't gonna give me this now. I'm gonna do this. Like, this very, very emotional child shit, bro. It's like, bro, I don't know. The bitch shit just be rubbing me wrong, bro. I don't like that shit at all. He said, then Norman get mad at you for the Quadera Norman Jr. sparring rumors?
He got mad at me about some shit that Greg and Rob Acosta said.
Why he not mad at them? They the ones who said the shit.
Oh man, you letting them post lies. That's their perspective. I don't censor people on my channel. I didn't censor Virgil. I didn't censor Robert when Robert said about the 2 tune-ups. I could have buried that interview. I didn't.
Facts. Facts. But let me see. He said, "Can I get your thoughts on Jai Opetaia calling out David Benavidez? Jai wants to be undisputed. Then have a mega fight with David. I mean, I can see that being realistic. I can see that happening. I don't see that shit happening anytime soon, for real. But I could see it happening once David Benavidez feel like he accomplished what he needed to accomplish at 75. I think people need to pump their brakes a little bit and just, speak more about, the new division that David Benavidez is in. He only 2 fights in, looking to be in his 3rd fight against, Anthony Yarde and stuff like that. So he said he chasing Bivol. He said he chasing Betterbeat. You know what I mean? So I'd rather see him, take on those, those caliber guys at 175, because unfortunately he wasn't given those opportunities at 68. So I'm hoping that, he's able to get those fights with Bivol Betterbeat. And if he comes out victorious and, becomes undisputed or whatever the case is, then I would like to see him fight, the Opetaias and the Gilberto Ramirez's of the world. Like, I think those fights would be dope. And, Benavidez ain't going to have no problem putting on some weight. So why not? I like that fight. But, I would like to see him focus more on 75. And I would like to see Opetaia, become the man at cruiserweight, for real. So I would like to see them both get the job done before they fight each other.
Yeah, I think it's too early to even be talking about that fight. And I understand, you're trying to build something. But the reality is, David got what? 2 fights at 175?
Yeah, Voldic and Morel.
Morel, it's too early. It's too early to be talking about moving up. Are you talking about him moving up 200 to 200 pounds, 25 pounds?
Let's see. Y'all think Shushu should move up or no? I don't really know. Like Shushu don't look good at the weight though, man. Like I seen him at a weigh-in and he looked absolutely terrible. He didn't perform bad, but he definitely looked crazy on the scale. So I don't know. That's ultimately up to him whether he wants to move up or not. But um, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I guess it depends on how the way Shushu feel at the weight. Let me see. So what do I think about Najee Lopez? I seen that fucking fight he had with Calvin Henderson, bro. Oh my god. If that and Calvin Henderson ain't no slouch. We fought him in the pros. We actually got a Briscoe Award for that fight with Calvin Henderson. Calvin Henderson can rumble. He's not. I wouldn't say like he's a world level fighter, but he's solid. The way Najee never gave that boy an opportunity to establish his jab, get any type of understanding of range whatsoever. Najee's punch selection, his jab first of all was on the money. Calvin couldn't get the timing on it at all. The way he was able to maintain that range, the punch selection, nasty. And I liked Najee Lopez composure throughout the fight. Like he had Calvin hurt multiple times throughout the fight. He just stood composed. He didn't, go all out and go crazy, anything like that. He just broke him down piece by piece. He was just putting his punches together. And he was able to get that stoppage. So Najee looked very impressive to me. I like what I saw. For sure. Let me see. Have I been following the young man Nicholas Flies? Yes, I have. That's like my dad's favorite fighter right now. He really likes Nicholas Flies, and I took the time to watch him. That motherfucker could rumble. He
about to fight Tiger, bro. I don't like that fight to Tiger. Not with these circumstances. I don't like it.
Yeah, he fighting Tiger Johnson. That's a hell of a fight.
Yeah, he's supposed to fight Pete Dobson. It was a cup. Like he was supposed to fight Pete Dobson, but before that, he was supposed to fight somebody else for WBA title eliminator.
Who you speaking on? Flies?
Yeah, it was supposed to be on. Remember when the Pro Box card came to Philly?
Yeah, I think Najee. Not Najee. I'm sorry.
Who the fuck was it? Gabriel Mestre. Thanks, Clip. That's my fucking man, Clip, yo. Thanks, Clip. Yeah, he's supposed to fight fucking Gabriel Mestre in a WBA title eliminator. I was so excited about that fight. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, damn, that's a good fight.
Yeah, but I don't know what's been happening with Flies. I don't know if he just be getting injured or whatever the case is. But
yeah, I think Flies got injured in that fight though. Before
figure out what happened with that Pete Dobson John.
Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
shit. It's 1 a.m., bro. I gotta go to sleep.
All right, bro.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, brother. Shout out to Jamil. Shout out to YSM. I think Fly's gonna beat Tiger too, for sure. I think he's a little bit too active for Tiger, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he could keep this momentum going at 147. I mean, I think so. I think it's just a matter of, building him right. You know what I mean? Getting the right fights, and yeah, I think he could definitely. I don't know how far Nicholas Flies can go, but he could definitely make some noise at 47. That's for sure. But I'm about to wrap up on the live as well, man. I'm tired of shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm running off of fumes. So shout out to YSM Sports Media for coming through and showing love. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that was contributing to the chat. The live did start off slow, but we definitely picked up and had some great conversations. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to be available 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to continue cooking up on what's going on in the sport of boxing. If you appreciate the boxing content, if you appreciate the dialogue, all that good stuff, man, y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We on the road to 4K. We're going to the 3,100 mark. About to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation in the mouth for making this possible. I hope everybody has a blessed, beautiful night. I'm signing off, man. Peace.